Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepski.
Hey, and welcome back to Joe on Joe for a very special Valentine's episode of G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. Joe on Joe is the only podcast where we watch every episode of G.I. Joe in order and comment on them. And this week, I am blessed. I am hashtag blessed. I am lucky. I am everything that you are not because I am sitting right next to my wife, Rebekah
Slepski.
Rebekah Slepski. 2 years later, the paperwork's finally done.
Boom.
Boom. Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, husband.
Welcome back to Joe on Joe.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a special Valentine's episode. This is one of my favorite episodes. I would say definitely top 10, especially because it leads into another episode later on, which you don't know about, and we'll get to at some point.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
The intrigue.
I know. It focuses on Shipwreck, who is awesome. He's the pirate with the parrot.
The pirate with the parrot.
Yeah. And before we go further, listeners, you know my wife. She's been on a few episodes.
Your wife.
She is a very talented actress and
Terribly talented.
and writer and writing instructor out here for the Second City
Correct.
Comedy Cafe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Serving up some hot, steamy comedy.
Serving up steamy comedy.
Steamy comedy.
Rebekah, how long have you worked for the Second City?
8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
And you primarily teach online writing, but you also teach in class.
In-house, yeah.
In-house.
Yes,
In-house.
yes.
And if someone was out there and they were like, oh, boy, I'm interested in this comedy thing, how could I learn more?
You can go on the interwebs to www.secondcity.com and look for classes, and they have a whole section for online classes. And you can take them. You can look for the different training center locations. We have them in Chicago, in Hollywood, and Toronto. You could look to take classes in-house too. So yeah, there's that.
Fantastic. Now you've actually introduced a couple like new courses, or you have some more. It's not just like intro to comedy, like things like that. Like,
which is true because I actually created that.
They do have that. They do have that. But like what? So what are some of the classes that Second City and you Second City offers and you yourself teach?
Online, I teach. I created the Writing 2 program. There's 4 levels online, but I also teach in Writing 1. I have a Fish Out of Water boot camp and teen sketch that I teach, and also in-house in Hollywood, I teach a rewriting course. I teach one basically called Killer Comedy Structures, which helps you just learn different tools and types of scenes. There is intro to comedy writing. There's also a satire class that I've been teaching recently, and writing bold characters, like the characters on G.I. Joe. Not necessarily like them, but they're very bold. Some are patriotic, some are not.
Yeah, I like that. So that's a lot of different offerings. So if anyone's out there interested in, and even if you're not sitting at home going, boy, I really want to work for SNL, even if you're sitting at home listening and you're just like, hey, you know what? I've always wanted to write, or I've always just wanted to express myself creatively, in a different venue, and I have no idea where to start. This is a great place to start.
The place to start is my lacking IMDb page.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's right. Remember, go visit my wife on IMDb and watch her visits soar.
Right. But the last time we mentioned it, thanks those who visited right away.
Yeah, skyrocketed.
My 2 or 3 hits tripled or possibly quadrupled.
It was like a
size.
4,000% increase. I looked that week. It
famous
was insane.
because of you all.
Yeah. So
he's going to keep me in the house a little longer.
Yeah, and you can find her on social media at Real Rebekah on Twitter.
On the Twitter, yeah.
And you can find me at Joe on Joe Pod, and that's on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Remember, on Instagram, I'm tweeting out the G.I. Joe Impel 1991 file cards, like the trading cards, and I was trying to do one a day. And here's my social media discipline.
Uh-oh.
That's a lot for me. So, but check out my Instagram.
So when you say that's a lot for you, does that mean that you haven't been doing them once a day?
No, I haven't.
got
Like
it.
I've
Okay.
been. It's funny. I leave for work every morning and I grab a card and I go, "Oh, I'll tweet this out some point today," or Instagram it out or whatever. And I get home at night and I go, "Oh, I forgot to Instagram this out
There's
today."
a lot of shiny things throughout the day. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
I'm lucky to remember to put pants on, which is awkward when I teach.
And also, if you're out there and you want to be a member of the Joe on Joe team,
A member of the team.
yeah, you can go send me an email to joeonjoepod@gmail.com and you can be a guest on the show.
What?
Yeah, that's how we do things here at Joe on Joe.
This is how I do
Do
it.
To all my lowercase G's out there, if you want to be a part of the G.I. Joe team, you certainly can. So shoot me a note, let me know. Or shoot me a note and say, "You're terrible."
Don't do that. That's my husband, you jerk.
Or and if you're out there and you want to leave a review, that would be amazing on iTunes or any place you get your podcasts. So, I don't know how much ado we had, but without any more of it, my lady and I, we're gonna watch Memories of Mara, and I'm happy. It's awesome that this fell on the week of Valentine's Day because it's a romance. It's a love story.
Romantic.
Yeah, romantic. Not planned at all. And I love that it is. And it's got Shipwreck, who I love. I mean, he's on the cartoon. He's probably top 3. Which I should put together. Like I find myself doing this every week of saying like top this and it's one of my top 20. I feel like I should put together a comprehensive list.
The Joe on Joe top comprehensive.
Yeah.
What? And so, of all your top 5s, or of all the G.I. Joe characters, and you're like, you're the worst. You're the one who's on the very bottom.
Yeah, well, like rank them in order of how much I like them, and like you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put together.
But you're gonna have some that are like on the very, very bottom.
Well, listen, there's always got to be a bottom. Like
In this relationship.
yeah, and sometimes when you're at the bottom, you can also top. So with all that romance in mind, we're gonna watch Memories of Mara. Thanks for listening, and Rebekah Slepski.
Rebekah what?
Rebekah what? Rebekah Slepski. Here we go with Memories of Mara. So when I say to you, Rebekah, that this is a romantic episode, what images are conjured in your brain? Like how romantic do you think G.I. Joe can possibly get?
I expect some Cobra spooning.
Oh, okay.
I expect, as they are shooting back and forth, they're shooting glances of love. I don't know. I got
Okay.
nothing.
So you think they'll be shooting come hither glances at each other?
Correct.
So it won't just be lasers. It'll be steamy passion
Lasers of love.
and intent. Is that's what you're thinking?
Yes.
Okay. That's not necessarily the case. However, the romance does come between a Joe and a Cobra.
What the what?
Technically, yes. You'll see why I say
An actual snake?
No, yeah. Okay. You'll see why I say that. It's written by Charmin DeVono, which is a name I don't recall seeing. We may have, but it's not a name that pops
Navy.
up. And honestly, based on this, I hope Charmin's written a bunch more because I love this episode. And we don't waste any time.
Oh, there she is. There's a thigh.
That
She's about to
is-
jump into the water.
Yeah, that's Lady J. She's ready. She's ready to go swim. I think you know what? One of the other episodes, she was also in her swim gear.
Yep.
Well,
Everyone
she's
else had
got a look.
pants, and
She's got a swim gear look.
That's all right.
So we don't waste any time at all. We're out in the sea somewhere, and the
Oh,
Joes.
the creepy twins.
Yeah, the Joes are tracking a Cobra sub, or actually the Joes are trying to reach a downed ship of theirs, and it turns out Cobra's also looking for a ship in the same area.
Who's the dude with the silver face?
That's Destro.
Mm.
He is romantically involved with Baroness, but that does not come up this episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with what's the
With Cobra Commander?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to see some action.
See,
Speaking of love,
that's what I'm saying. Like, this is full of double entendres.
who is that guy with
That's
the beard?
Shipwreck.
Oof.
It's funny.
Drowning.
When we one of the things I talk about a lot is like animation of this, like of the
Sure.
animation of these episodes, and like some seem to be a little better than others. Just initially, this one does seem a little different. Like there's a couple odd angles so far, and also like the character designs are of that like slightly off model design, but it's not bad. I'm not complaining about this. Last time we saw this, it looked janky, but this time I like it. It just everyone looks just a little clunkier. Like there's not as many deep shadows that we're seeing, but you may not need it. So Shipwreck sees a distress signal and he goes swimming out in the ocean.
I love that he's swimming when his hat stayed on.
Yeah. Oh, his hat's always on. Come on. His hat comes off for two things. Sweet love.
Oh, sweet love.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was assuming that. I was wondering if it was something else.
So a couple torpedoes.
Good Burt Reynolds
strike.
references.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
good.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have known it had I not been with you for 700 years.
And Shipwreck rescues this lady who's in the ocean. And do you notice anything different about her?
She is blue, first off, because she's very cold, and she also has a cobra on her chest, not the snake.
You're very,
Adept.
very adept, and you're paying
Pretty.
good attention. So this is important. They're waiting for the shark. The shark is that ship there, and that's because they're not like a fully. This isn't like they're not on the USS Flag aircraft carrier. They're just in like a boat with very little weaponry. So they're kind of sitting ducks out there.
Oh.
Yeah. And they know that the Cobras are in a submarine, and they don't have good anti-submarine defenses.
Oh, okay.
So they're scrambling to save themselves. You see how it's kind of a smaller boat?
Yeah.
Shipwreck and someone else.
And Shipwreck's doing his thing. Duke jumps in a Skyhawk. Skyhawk's a cool little toy. It was like a one-man little VTOL aircraft.
I don't know what a VTOL is.
Vertical takeoff and landing.
Oh,
so
boy.
it could just go straight up in the air. Doesn't
wow.
have to like build up speed. It's got those two little engines on the back that they tilted on the toy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that something that really exists, or that they just
you know
made
what?
up?
They do, well, the Skyhawk itself isn't a style of ship that exists, but the concept of doing VTOL that does exist. Yeah, like a Harrier, a Harrier jet is the one where it's got. Actually, we talked about.
I mean, a
this
helicopter is, right?
Well, a helicopter certainly, yeah, but taking that concept and they throw it onto a plane.
Look how big their eyes are. They've got like anime eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's actually
Creepy.
That's a good. Well, that's a good point. That's one of the things I'm saying about this episode, where the animation is just a little bit different than what we normally see on the show. Everything's the ratios are off just slightly.
Lady J is the one who's in the with their thighs all out, the
Yeah.
thigh gap.
Yep.
She's a fetching. She's got a. I like the hairdo
Oh,
and
Gung Ho just showed up for no reason.
pert is what I was thinking of. She's pert.
Pert. Okay. I'm with you.
Trogon.
I'm with you.
What's a
yeah,
Trogon?
I don't know. I don't know what a Trogon is, but that's the name of the boat. Gung Ho showed up out of absolutely nowhere to save Duke, which was pretty sweet.
But I want to tell you, Gung Ho, that's the closest shave I've had in a
There's
got
a
his-
lot of love happening.
Yeah,
right
he's
here.
a shirtless man.
Oh, now they're
embracing-
making out with the blue girl.
Well, they're trying to give her CPR.
She's suffocating. Do something.
I feel like you just said
this is a standard
suffocating.
rescue procedure. By the book.
Suffering
Ah,
sacotage.
you're blowing it. Let me try. Jumping catfish.
Each guy's trying a new.
Well, as Shipwreck goes
Technique.
in closer, he realizes she has gills, Rebecca.
Oh boy!
She's not blue because she's cold. She's blue because
She's a mermaid.
fish.
Crazy? Stay out of my way.
So Ship takes her on his shoulder and he goes jumping back into the water.
Oh boy!
She's breathing through gills like a blasted trout.
Boom. That's
Blasted
exactly it.
trout.
And now we see why they drew Lady J with the aquatic gear on, because they had to have her jump in and go for a
Her life
for a
aquatic.
dive.
For our inoperative, Cobra Commander.
Commander.
I found the girl.
The
The sub is falling apart.
I don't know if you'll get this reference, but the Cobra
The
crew.
sub is falling apart.
The Cobra crew, they're very much reminiscent of the 1966 Batman movie, where all the Batman's villains, the Joker and Penguin, they all had a submarine and they cruised around. They spent like half the movie
my
in
gosh.
a submarine,
Oh my gosh.
all up in each other's business, making jokes and stuff. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this moment with Cobra right now. It's pretty entertaining.
Oh boy! Glub, 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 glub,
yeah.
glub, glub.
So
So all the Cobra ones were
Girl.
swimming out of there.
yeah. Cobra just launched a bunch of eels. Those are called eels. And the thing is, they're trying to get her, the blue lady. They need to get her back.
Oh boy!
Ooh,
Oh my gosh!
Look out!
Gary!
Ooh, look out!
No!
Okay, eels just totally snuck up and grabbed all the Joes.
She's gonna protect him.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen, but
Blue girl's
these
gonna
eels are
protect.
creepy, and they just showed up out of nowhere.
Oh no!
And they were about to shoot a harpoon in like a 3D. That's like a 3D movie. So we're going to go to commercial break with a harpoon in the face. Today's Filecard Feature is on the G.I. Joe sailor, codenamed Shipwreck. His file name is Hector X. Delgado, and his primary military specialty is the gunner's mate. Secondary military specialty is machinist. His place of birth, Chula Vista, California, and he's a grade CPO. Shipwreck grew up in the shadow of the Navy, specifically the shadow of the sprawling San Diego Navy Yards. He enlisted at the youngest possible age with his parents' permission and proceeded to serve with distinction in the Mekong Delta, where hand-to-hand fighting with river pirates, smugglers, and insurgents was the order of the day. He put in time at Gitmo and Yokosuka and was on hand at certain carrier-initiated operations in the Middle East. He graduated Naval Gunnery School out of Great Lakes. He's a qualified expert in the M16, M14, Browning 50 cal, the 20mm Oerlikon AA gun, and the M1911A1. Shipwreck is your quintessential sailor. He can splice a line, fry powdered eggs in the tooth of a gale and eat them, tell taller tales than a Senate Appropriations Committee, and take a 3-day liberty in Thule, Greenland, and come back smiling. Shipwreck is one of those characters that just really has a standout look. He's in the traditional Navy outfit with the white hat and the light blue top, and he carries a parrot on his shoulder, much like a pirate. His action figure came with a rope, which for you action figure collectors out there, the rope gets lost quite a bit. So if you've got the Shipwreck rope, hold on to it. On the show, he joined the Joes not as an enlisted soldier, but as a mercenary. He always has a wisecrack. He is absolutely one of the biggest characters on the team, and he shines every time he shows up, even if it's just for a one-liner or comedic relief. Shipwreck and Polly never let you down. So, Hector X. Delgado, my man Shipwreck, we salute you.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Now, so far, it's not very romantic, is it?
Not very romantic, but I did enjoy the harpoon in my face.
That's right. I'm going to edit that and cut out the har part of the face.
Glub, glub, glub. She's freaking out.
Yeah, she's totally freaking out. So she's a troubled young lady. But as wow,
Oh boy, she stole a knife. Oh, this guy's done.
Yeah, Mara steals one of the eel's knife and she slices like his rebreather, and so he has to surface. Oh, and Lady J shows up again.
How'd she get free?
Well, I don't know what they did to those other Joes, but there were 3 other G.I. Joes that did not surface.
Did they kill them?
That's what I want to know. Where did the other Joe divers go?
Oh boy.
Joe's presence confirms my suspicions. The Trogon is not patrolling for mines. She's looking for the Nurka.
There's a very cool thing happening with the Cobra submarine. Animation-wise, they have it like with a red tint on it, like which is neat.
Huntford Red
Yeah, exactly.
Cobra.
Yeah, a Cobra. Oh, snap.
I teach comedy, mothers.
I teach puns.
Maybe a little bit.
The shark has finally showed up. So now the Joes have some protection against submarines.
I love what you said. The shark has finally shown up. They didn't jump the shark.
No, they did
episode.
not jump the shark in this episode. They jumped the shark.
They shot the shark.
No, they jumped the shark in that Gods Below episode a few episodes back, where they fought the Gods Below. They fought Egyptian gods, and they end up sailing through space with them.
Oh boy,
that was a shark jump moment.
Oh,
Absolutely, but they quickly recovered. So Cobra Commander is very upset.
he really is.
Yeah.
Take a chill pill, Cobes.
Yeah, you know, he's a grand leader who just really can't. Oh, there's the rest of the Joes who can't control himself and can't stop what he's saying. And
That's so weird. Did they tweet?
I you know what? They didn't have Twitter then, but they probably would have.
They were a Twitter.
Yeah, the hearts were a Twitter and memories of Mara. Hello.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so if you see closely, you see that shark.
Yeah.
Not a lot of detail on it. Like there's normally like
You heard me right, Doc. Bring a dog.
details, you know, like on the toy, there'd really be like American flag details and things like that. So probably I would guess the budget on this, the animation budget, might have been a little
$3.
$8.42.
Oh, okay, I was a
Very
little off.
close, though.
I
You
was
didn't
good.
go
I
over.
was good.
You didn't go over, so that's good.
But that's 1980s dollars.
Right.
So out here it'd be like 33
Oh,
million.
it's crazy huge.
Out here is what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what this era is.
Also, they just showed. Okay, so now fast forward a little bit of time has passed, and they're at a research station.
I don't know where your missing submarine is, and I don't
They're-
know
so they're on
the
land. It's like
location
an
of the
island,
Cobra
its whole
undersea
kind of thing.
laboratory. She's lying. She was a part of the
Mara
operation.
is
She has
claiming that she doesn't know where this undersea research lab is. Shipwreck believes her.
to think you're a moron.
What?
Better than a less off.
Okay. And Doc is here. He's awesome. He's great when he shows up.
I like his glasses.
Yeah, he's one of the originals. Those green glasses are great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who has green glasses?
He does.
So we get a flashback to see what Mara
I
was up
to be
to.
the first of a squadron of amphibious commandos.
She's describing, we're seeing her transformation, that she was going to be amphibious soldiers.
The
And
conversion
they
process
changed her. Now,
involved
here's my question. I want to know, what was her life like that she thought it'd be better to volunteer to be how miserable, you know what I'm saying?
She was probably a secretary. That's all she could ever be in the world.
Right? She had the Cobra glass ceiling. So
Mm-hmm.
what, if someone came to you and were like, Rebekah, we have this procedure, turn you into an underwater person. What would you?
I like the water.
Would you?
I like the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? How?
I'd say, would I
How
prune?
bad would our marriage have to be for you to be like, sign me up?
Like maybe 3 weeks from now? What? I can foresee
Wait,
the future.
First of all, are you
What?
predicting that in 3 weeks they're going to have technology that'll turn people into mermen? Because sign me up.
Oh, so your answer is you want to do that.
Listen, no, I'm
You're
actually
not much of a swimmer.
I'm not
I've
a big.
seen you
Yeah,
swim,
no,
but
I'm
you're
not a
much of
big.
swimmer.
I'm not a big.
I
Yeah, no,
enjoy
I'm
the
not a big
water.
ocean person.
I like the water.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're on board. See, I'm the guy. I would sign up to go to Mars.
I know you would.
I
And I
know.
wish you would talk about it slightly less.
Oh
it
my God!
makes me wonder about
Well,
our marriage.
Listen, I would be really. I'd miss you, but I'd be like, it's space.
You also have said yes, I could come along on the zombie apocalypse, but you were not going to put too much faith in my protection.
I'm just being honest there. When the zombie apocalypse happens, I'm just saying there are people that we know that I feel would be better
They
suited
just
to
left
survive.
Epcot Center. Did you see the way that building looked?
Well, it's funny. You know what's so funny? You should mention
I'm
that.
so smart.
That building that looked different from the building when they showed it 3 panels ago.
Oh.
It's like they grabbed an animation from a different show or a different episode
From
and used
DuckTale?
it. Yeah,
DuckTales.
DuckTales. Scrooge McDuck showed up and was like, no, he was Scottish.
It was necessary. If I'm out of water too long, my skin
Well, I was going to
dries.
say,
It's-
what's the pirate? What's his
That's
name?
Shipwreck.
Was he played by Tom Hanks? And she's played by Daryl Hannah?
Oh, that would be. Oh, it's a splash joke, everybody.
Oh, gosh.
It's a splash joke. If so, I think Gung Ho would be John Candy.
Yeah, but there's no John Candy enjoyed a little bit of candy. There's no one here with any extra meat on their bones.
No, there it really isn't.
Oh my God, these people are
Well,
creepy.
they're all military,
I'm really
you know?
worried.
They're all
I'm
military.
worried
They gotta
about
be
the
safe.
ladies' safety.
Out of nowhere, the Dreadnoks show up.
Well, those guys are scared.
Yeah.
Dreadnoks?
Yeah, so we're going to commercial with the Dreadnoks. Just
G.I.
grab
Joe will
Mara.
return after these messages.
Someone is coming! It's your turn! Dreadnoks, Cobra needs you. You must attack G.I. Joe before dawn. Cobra! They can destroy and leave no traces. Dreadnoks! Evil is written all over their faces. Dreadnoks! Horrifying new foe of G.I. Joe. That's right! G.I. Joe! American hero! Fighting evil Cobra!
The legend of G.I. Joe continues at Marvel Comics. Now back to G.I. Joe.
Yeah, the Dreadnoks, they were the Cobra biker gang that they hang out with Zartan. Yeah, I know. The weird thing is, though, like, they're goons, but they're Zartan's goons. And Zartan's not on this episode, so it's rare that you get them operating independent of Zartan.
Is Zartan like a Hungarian dude?
No, he's like Australian. He's I think he's Australian. Actually, I'm not really sure. I mean, they're based out of Australia, but he's like a he's the shapeshifter.
can only stay
chameleon
on
guy.
land
He wears
a
like the
few
brown
minutes.
rag
Get
on his
her
head
back to
and,
the
and
water.
can look like anyone else.
'Cause I believe that's a Hungarian name, actually.
Might be.
I know people who are named that.
Well, you know Zartan?
Yeah, it's a Hungarian name.
See, if I knew a Zartan, I would never stop
Zartan.
asking him G.I. Joe questions.
Zartan,
He would
something like that.
dislike me quite a bit, but I would never stop asking G.I. Joe questions.
Out of here.
Get her.
So when the Dreadnoks grabbed him, she had previously had a fishbowl water helmet to help her breathe, and the helmet got knocked off. So now Shipwreck had to throw her underwater. And the Dreadnoks jump into a water moccasin.
Water moccasin?
Yeah, that's the water moccasin boat. That was one of their main Cobra toys. It was one and it floated, and it had.
It's gonna take this badly.
Yeah, and it had a fan on the back that spun around.
Oh.
And it came with a little dude named Copperhead, and you'd put him in the cockpit, and then you would secure the cockpit with the cockpit cover, so then your figure would stay inside. It was dope, and it totally floated.
Dope.
Super dope. Water moccasin was awesome. So Shipwreck, he washes ashore in Mara.
Oh, her
in
hair flash.
Very seductive. That was like, who was that? This was like Ursula Andress and Dr. No. Like, hello, Mr. Bond. Like, she comes splashing out of the water. Let's just say we're lucky.
Oh, shit.
We're lucky she's wearing a full bodysuit, because otherwise.
She went in to make out with him.
She totally did. And look, his hat's off.
Oh,
His hat comes off for, right?
But he also kind of threw her off.
Wow.
Quickly, like, don't do it.
Because she's Cobra.
I never thought about what was right
Not
or
because
wrong.
she's a woman.
No, but you know what? Earlier we asked what was her life like that she would volunteer for this, and she's explaining it right now.
Reasons.
She came from the wrong side of the tracks.
Cobra just wanted
So
more than
everyone
they let
wanted
on.
something from her.
I am a moron.
And so that's what she sold her, sold
Look
her
how
life out.
seductively he's laying behind her.
Oh, he's laying behind her like Burt Reynolds and Cosmo.
Yeah.
Or like Stan Lee.
And
that
Cosmo?
Stan Lee did a famous picture of him laying in the same Burt Reynolds pose.
did he?
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Did he also do Joe Namath in
Totally.
Nylons?
I'm attracted to morons.
Oh, she's kind of peachy colored.
And I got this thing for mermaids.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So I think Shipwreck has a fish fetish.
I was going to say that. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to talk about that on the
totally
Joe and
does.
Joe podcast.
He has a fish fetish.
Oh,
He
boy. Les
and
poissons.
Troy McClure from The Simpsons. What do they have in common?
I have a crush on Lady J, I think.
Sure.
She's so pretty.
She's very pretty.
I'm going to grow my hair out like that and have a crush on myself.
Oh, my goodness. Your hair's not terribly different.
And can I also maybe just get body surgery to get her bod?
Yes, you can do that.
Good.
Yes,
That's
we can
like
do that.
that's a
That looks like a Death Star
I was
thing.
yeah.
And those lives of your crew.
Crew.
You'll never get it from me.
So Destro is interrogating one of the generals, like the kind of
Flynn.
no-name general. Yeah, and he's not like
A no-name
regular-
general like Michael Flynn?
Yeah, like Mike. Yeah. Well, no, Flynn wouldn't have to be tortured. Flynn would just be like,
just
"Hey,
say,
Cobra, guess
"Here's
what
the
we're doing?
deal."
Hey, guess what we're doing, Cobra?
Hey,
Sorry,
guys.
we're recording this on the night that Michael Flynn just resigned because he was being traitorous with Russia.
So we think.
Well, that's
the rumor around
that's the scuttlebutt around the old water
Scuttlebutt.
cooler.
These guys are so creepy.
They're the best, though. They're the best. I think I need to get that outfit and just wear it around, and then the next day wear the other side of it.
Oh, and it'll be like I'm
people
having.
be like, "Oh my God, Jill has a twin."
Or maybe it's like I'm having an affair with your brother.
I don't. Yes.
He doesn't really have a brother in real life. That's why it's
Right.
kind of funny.
So Shipwreck and Mara are in love. Mara's finally decided she's going to show him where the installation is because.
Why does she not need any
Okay,
water right now?
This is weird.
I got a personal
Lady J just said.
Cobra.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good question. Why does she not need water? That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that.
She like a camel,
No, I think probably just costly animation.
but she has
Well, Lady J just said that Shipwreck's not a certified diver. How can he not be a certified diver? He's literally like a pirate / Navy guy. Like that. His whole thing is being on boats. Why would I don't understand that.
You Joes go without
I feel like it's just
That's
a moment.
That's a faulty plan.
Well, I feel like it's like a moment of like they wanted to put a little conflict
Yeah.
there, even though it didn't make any sense.
Because he's
Like,
not certified, so she can come back and help him and
right,
save him.
Yeah.
But,
Like,
right?
how is Lady J more certified than Shipwreck to be
What
a
is
diver?
she putting bubblegum on cracks in the
Bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish?
7?
7.
Not going anywhere.
What is it? And then you counted to
And you
7.
count 'em,
and you
yeah.
count 'em, yeah. You're always the jerk that'd be like, 83.
I couldn't count that high.
83.
I went to Catholic school.
So you're right. Mara is actually running around the ship. Oh,
But
wait a minute.
explosive.
I think she's got a thing on her belt, and we might have missed this. They might have said we made something that she can, but it still doesn't make any
And
sense.
you lead me to your crew.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense that she's not, because she has the gills are on her neck, so she should. Yeah, she's got a thing on her belt. I feel like that might be giving her oxygen. And here we go. We find the machine that turned her aquatic, and the Cobra guys are gonna turn Lady J
into a fish.
Into a mer person.
To the sub, quickly.
With a gross smiles.
Wait, they started the process, and then they're not even going to stick around. They're just going to turn her blue and then run away.
Oh, Lord. Filet-O lady.
Filet-O J.
Oh.
Filet-O J. See? Comedy.
We should totally market that.
Totally comedy.
It's
okay,
Lent.
so now she is having trouble breathing now.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm confused. Anyway, oh, yeah, that is. Oh, no,
Oh,
that's
shoot.
the bomb. That's the
She's
bomb
going to blow up
trigger.
her boyfriend.
Get her out of here. This dump is gonna blow.
This dump. Look at those glasses. And no eyeballs.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. See how there's like just there's no
Definition.
detail. Yeah, there's no definition on it. And now the Cobra base just explodes. And Lady J and Shipwreck and Mara are seemingly caught in the explosion.
As long as you could, Commander Jordan.
I like the G.I. Joe.
Rising from the deep.
I like the G.I. Joe scuba gear, like the yellow outfit. I don't know if they ever put out an action figure of that, but I wish they would have.
There's no other choice.
So in a moonlit beach,
Oh, boy.
Mara and Shipwreck are saying goodbye.
Please. It'll
Love
only make things
on the
harder.
ocean.
Konatonga is a beautiful place. I belong here.
Oh, my God.
So
I'm going
Mara's
to cry.
going to live on the
Oh, my
island.
God.
She
No, he
says
wants
she
sushi.
belongs there. Here's my question, though.
What?
There's no other mer people.
Yeah, I know, right?
Who's she going to live?
Didn't he say they made some other women?
No, she was
Oh.
like the first.
Uh-oh.
So that's it. Mara leaves him.
That
And
isn't
she's-
romantic at all.
Yeah, but Shipwreck finds love, and then there's,
but
like,
then they
there's-
can't be together.
I know,
It's like
right?
my teen years all over. Somebody's name was Sriracha? I think it was Siracusa.
Maybe. So yeah. So Shipwreck finds love, and then he loses love, and he meets a mermaid,
And then they go out for sushi.
and then they go out for sushi, and then she's like, I would rather live underwater with fish than try to figure out how to live with you on land. That's how.
Well, I'm just gonna say, why does she have to go through all the difficult stuff? They could figure out how to make him a fish, but instead she has to be the one
but
who
he
has to
doesn't wanna.
constantly.
He's got the world to save. He shouldn't
Well,
have to be
she's
a
got
fish. It's like,
got the ocean to save. She
listen,
became a marine
it's
biologist.
tradition. When you find love, you become the you don't.
He's really trying to say this without me getting mad at him. Here it comes. Here it
It's
comes.
like taking your husband's last name. It's tradition.
It's
He doesn't
BS.
become
It's
the fish.
bull
She stays
sockets. Some of us take a little longer than others, and their husbands don't even know what their last name is.
the fish. Who are you?
My name is Rebekah.
Well, listen. Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day,
Valentine's Day.
Rebekah, my wife. And happy Valentine's Day to all of our Joe on Joe listeners. We love each and every one of you. The show is growing all the time. We had our biggest month last month.
Huge. It was
It was
huge.
huge. It was great. Hopefully we can repeat it. And very soon, maybe next week, I'm going to be on a podcast
Baby.
called Saturday Morning Trek. Our
Whoa.
friend Aaron Harvey, who he was a guest on the show a couple episodes back. My understanding is that episode's going to drop like next week, maybe.
What's it called again?
It's called Saturday Morning Trek.
And where can you
You
get
can
it?
find it on the Trek FM podcast network.
Wow,
Yeah, so just search
fancy.
for Saturday Morning Trek. I believe it drops next week. And if it doesn't, then I'm lying to you
Is
right now.
Trek, is it Trek as in like Star Trek?
Oh, yeah, it's a Star Trek podcast.
What?
Shocker.
Oh my God, you
Shocker.
guys, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Awesome. Well, listen, you can find me on at Joe on Joe Pod on social media. Send me an email, joeonjoepod@gmail.com.
You totally should.
Write me a review.
Do it.
And if you want to be a guest, reach out. We'll get you on the show.
Seriously, he does it. Sunday morning sometimes.
Yeah, it's usually
I'll
Sunday
see him
mornings.
talking to some
Some
random
strange
dudes.
person. And listen,
It's weird.
last
They're
time-
not strange.
No,
You're-
not strange. No, stranger to me. But we
Stranger.
had Will Bell on last time. He was a real military guy. I thought that was great. I learned a ton about how military people eat.
Really?
And I did, yeah, because I've always wondered that. Like, what is food free? Like, is it? How does that work? And he answered my questions.
It is.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that.
I could have told you that.
Well,
It is. I mean,
I wouldn't have trusted you. I needed to get from my friend Will.
my mother, my sister, my niece are all Air Force. That's
I
cool.
don't trust him. Don't trust him. So thank you, Joe and Joe listeners. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, Rebekah Wallensack.
My last name is Slepski, you
Thank you,
jerk.
Rebekah Slepski. And now you, Joe, and Joeing is half
Half the battle.